Welcome to Field of 12 After Dark, and we're going to be here every day. We're going to be doing this. It's going to be a rotating cast of characters. I'm Michael Felder from Stadium, but this is going to be really, really fun. We're talking everything college football. We're going to get through this crazy sport, and we're talking SEC this week, and we got some beasts here to talk about it. We got Clint Stoerner, obviously former Razorbacks quarterback, radio, TV analyst, played for the Cowboys. Clint, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Hey, y'all can call me dirty from now on because I plan on getting dirty with George's ass. I plan on getting dirty this year. College football is here, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be a blast, man. Look, I'm blessed to be with you two. Blessed to be with Field of 12 After Dark, man. We got some. You said cast of characters. We got some great characters, great dudes, entertaining dudes, and college football always gives us a little meat to chew on, man. So good to be here with you boys, man. I'm looking forward to it, and let's ride.
Listen, let's ride is the right answer. And Clint and I have done some work together in radio in Arkansas, and then I'm bringing in my guy George Whitfield, the quarterback guru. He's done some work with ESPN, Nike ambassador, and the reason that George and I have each other's numbers in the phone is because we were running the streets together back in the opening in the Elite 11. George, how you doing, man? Bring us into the show.
I'm good. Michael Felder, first of all, welcome into the Field of 12 on behalf of Clint, Bryce, Trevor, Rob, Dagan, Jeff, the whole team. Welcome, man. You're our newest, latest, greatest addition. So we welcome you. And honestly, we also welcome you to a tradition we've held up all year last year. I'm going to start with Clint. And for those of you who have been with us, for those of you just joining us back this year for the first time, grab something to sip on. We got America's favorite sport. We got a little time on this summer evening. We're going to go through a couple of things. I want to give a toast from both of you, and then I'll give mine, and then I'm going to hand the ball back to our point guard. Clint, a toast this offseason, your favorite thing, your favorite news, your favorite person that you observed in this favorite sport of ours.
Well, this is a tough one for me, George, because there's a lot of shit's gone on since we last spoke, my friend. But the low-hanging fruit you mentioned, Michael Felder joining us. I'll cheers. I'll damn sure drink to my man. But a lot of good's gone on at Arkansas, but I can't go there. Jimbo Fisher, you not letting Nick Saban push your ass around, that's worth me sipping to now. Hell with sipping. I'm going to give me a good drink. Jimbo Fisher, I appreciate you making this college football season more interesting, brother.
Jimbo Fisher, hey. Michael Felder, sir. Give me some favorite thing this last long 5-6 months.
Woo, man, you know what? And Clint, you took the cake, but you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to go with, and it took me a while. It took me a second to think about it. But what I'm going to go with, man, I'm going to cheers to the transfer portal.
Hey. Oh, yes, my man. Yes, yes, my man. Hey, it breathes some life into the middle of the back SEC schools. Arkansas, we needed that transfer portal. I hear you, baby.
So I'm gonna cheers to the transfer portal. Yes. George, what are you cheersing to though?
So I'm gonna go to my plan B was shake up, right? I love shake up. The 2 LA schools from out here now. Big Ten. It's funny watching people on boardwalks with Big Ten hats down here in San Diego and LA. So be it. I love that. But I'm going to go with something that should be very near and dear to this show, being quarterback centric. We are about to see, I think, the best season of quarterback play. And I'm going to put it on them in the last half decade in college football. You have easy 6 or 7 Jedis, not big time players, 6 or 7 Jedis lurking across the country. I think 6 or 7 of these guys would have been drafted ahead of last year's first quarterback in Kenny Pickett. all respect to Kenny Pickett and his battle at Pittsburgh, but there are some monsters out here. West Coast, in the South. The Big Ten has some coming forward. The ACC's got some lurking. To the quarterbacks and the slaying we're about to see in this here college football season, to the QBs.
You damn right, G. I love it, baby.
Hey, and lastly, Michael Felder, we do an honorary one to the godfather of college football. He's about to be back on air here in another week and a half. Coach Lee Corso. Coach, to you, sir.
Dang. I dig it. Guys, we got a lot of ground to cover. We got to listen, and I don't know if you guys like Smoking the Bandit, but I do, and we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So we got about an hour to cover a lot of ground, and we are going to talk about those quarterbacks, which is going to be really interesting because there's so many. When we were putting together the show, we had to figure out were we just going to talk about the quarterbacks by themselves, or were we going to talk about the quarterbacks with the teams? So you know what? Right now, I kind of want to push the quarterbacks to the side, and I'm sorry, Clint. I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry. Or excuse me. I'm sorry, Dirty. I'm sorry, George.
Yes.
But right now, the question that I have is this Alabama's SEC championship and maybe national championship to lose?
Absolutely, Mike. I mean, look, here's the deal is you've got the top two players in the country, arguably. I believe Bryce Young's the best quarterback in terms of going to the league. I think he'll be the first quarterback drafted. I think he'll play earlier than anybody else. Okay, what do you got?
CJ Stroud?
Right now, I think he's better than him.
Okay, I love that. Tell me.
And Felder, come on back that way. After that, come on back.
Look. When it comes to navigating the pocket, delivering every ball on the field with ease, not having to get your body right, being mechanically sound, having confidence, being ready to step in physically to the league, and not just have like high ceiling like potential, but like legitimately get me in the game, and his game's going to translate directly to the NFL. They're all great. Don't get me wrong. We're splitting hairs here. But I believe that Bryce Young is the dude right now that can step in the league and play. I believe he'll be the number one overall pick. And if he's not, I believe Will Anderson will be. And okay. Will Anderson is being, in my opinion, the best pass rusher in the game. You got those two guys coming back. And, Mike, real quick, Nick Saban don't hand out too many damn compliments.
No.
Nick Saban stood his ass up there at SEC Media Days, Mike, and he said, I don't know that I've ever had a guy on each side of the football in terms of leadership, along with the caliber player that they are. I don't know that I've ever had that in Alabama. When Nick Saban says that, I'm not putting him second to anybody. So to answer your question, absolutely the SEC is Saban's and Bama's to lose.
I see. Here's the thing, and I'm going to get G-Dub. I'm going to let you get in there. There is one question that I want both of you. And George, I want to get you, and then Clint, I want to get you on this. So let's start with George. Do you think, and I think Stroud and Young are intrinsically related because they are both quarterbacks of color and they both do not run. They don't run. And do you think that that's a big part of, after RIP Dwayne Haskins, obviously, and hearing about Tua Tagovailoa, do you think that they think about that a lot and that they're worried that they don't be labeled as running quarterbacks, even though we know when they decide to run, they can do it? Let me go G-Dub, and then Clint, you get in right after him.
Woo, that's a heavy kickoff, but let's go at it. Okay, so let's go at the ideology of the black quarterback. I don't think these guys think about that.
Okay.
They've watched Teddy Bridgewater. He never goes past the line of scrimmage. They've seen Geno Smith. For all of us, we watched Byron Leftwich.
Sure.
Big old rifle. He wasn't going down.
But they've also seen what happens to Lamar Jackson.
Well, like win an MVP and start 30 some odd games at Louisville.
Right.
Like you are what you are. And it is good to see some diversity. Not every quarterback of color has a big superhero cape and is leaping over humans. you can play the game like Matt Ryan. You can play the game like Clint Stoerner. You can go out there and run an offense, a well-oiled machine like a Kirk Cousins, and you can do it with your own flair. You can, like, you are what you are. I don't think, just from knowing these guys, like knowing them. I trained Bryce Young,
I know,
7th, 8th grader.
That's why I started with you.
Not in his thought process. I need to be quick enough to be quick. I need to keep plays alive. I can't get caught back here in the pocket. But he's also not thinking I need to get $150 today on the ground. I need to get first downs in the matter I can get first downs. So I don't think they think about that, but it is interesting you brought that up. To Clint's point, I have 3 crowns coming into this season, like 3 preseason crowns. The game's best general from a quarterback standpoint is Bryce Young, most battle tested. Everything Clint said about him is right. That's the game's best general. Under the most pressure, delivers under all that pressure. Those 2 90-plus yard drives against Auburn when they had to have it.
Yeah. And
Auburn, they're sending 5-6 and they're dropping the rest and they're coming from all lanes and he all the way down the field. Mechie's out. It's him, Jamison Williams. He's got to figure out, okay, he's their best general. To me, C.J. Stroud's your best passer. Great route, great coverage. He's a difference maker. He just doesn't, like, there are some things Bryce does that CJ really doesn't do in terms of navigation. But when you watch the ball play in and play out down the field, to me, Stroud has a step on him. The other 3rd crown to me is out west. Caleb Williams is a monster. My indelible play from last football season came in Lawrence, Kansas. Like, who's going to say that? Oklahoma at Kansas. Oklahoma's found themselves in a barroom brawl in a spot they ain't supposed to be in, on their back in a bar. They should have blew through there and got on their Harley and got out of there, and they got caught. 3rd down and 2. They go for a run play, dive off the right tackle. Back gets busted up in the backfield. Caleb goes back there, takes the ball, and goes and gets the first down. That was an impression. Getting the ball in the 2nd quarter against Texas, when they're up there getting mollywopped against Texas, 80-yard touchdown run, 70-yard touchdown throw, 2 more touchdown drives. Like, he's a big home run hitter. That's your biggest monster. So there's a general right now. That's Bryce. Your best passer, that's Stroud right now. And to me, your monster nationally and especially on the West Coast is Caleb. Now, the kid down in Gainesville is going to have something to say about that monster part. But like, Clint,
listen, hey, we're going to get to him.
Let's get to him.
Clint, you tell me what you think about that. About, like, how Stroud and Bryce Young have to navigate kind of that space where they don't want the label.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I don't want to minimize that label is out there, and I'm aware of it. But as I look at the NFL landscape today, I feel like if you come into the league, black, white, Hispanic, I don't give a damn what it is. If you come into the league and you don't have holes in your game, you're going to be given an opportunity. You're going to be drafted 1st overall. You're going to be given the opportunity. And if you don't have holes in your game, you're going to succeed at an extremely high level.
Yes.
Now, I mean, whether the guys get that opportunity to develop their game, things of that nature, I can't speak to that. But when I talk about C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, I view both of those guys as dudes that don't have holes in their game. I think Bryce is a better natural passer of the football, like legit, like touch and all the little up in the arm slot and the like effortless accuracy.
I'm calling. Talk about it, because I think that's important. I want you. Listen, you guys are 2 quarterbacks. You guys know about playing quarterback, right? So talk about that arm. Like, that's the thing I love about Bryce Young is the way that he changes his arm slot, the way that he's able to make off-platform throws. I love that about him. So yeah, I want you to get into that, because to me, that's what I love about how he plays.
Mike, I watch Bryce Young play, and I see a guy that makes very difficult things, because I've tried to do it, and I just flat ass couldn't do it. Like, he makes them look simple. And you know who else does that? You know who else does that? Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Yep.
I mean, there's a handful of them. Like I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback I've ever seen play the position. Big picture, if we just check every box, in my opinion.
Yes.
But when it comes down to taking your body out of throws and whipping it around the park in underneath 10 yards, like Aaron doesn't. He's not necessarily in the best of the Pat Mahomes world of doing those things.
Right.
He gets his base set in every single throw and then throws with power, and it's beautiful. So anyway, we can get off in these quarterback weeds, but my point is, as you were talking about, like Lamar, I love Lamar Jackson. He won an MVP, but he's got a hole in his game, man. You know what I mean? Like whatever he's got to fight, I completely respect it and understand it, but he's got a damn hole in his game, man. I'm talking about when I look at Bryce Young and I look at C.J. Stroud, I think these dudes are going to walk in the league and you're going to have a hell of a time finding a hole in their game. Outside of them being a rookie, you're going to have a hard time finding it. Well, he's not processing at a high level. Well, he's not throwing the ball over the middle at a high level. Well, he's not reading the pressure and getting the ball out. He's not setting his feet. He can't throw it off platform. They can do it all, man. And with the day to me, find me a quarterback that doesn't have holes in his games, and if he doesn't get an opportunity, I'm going to raise hell with you, baby.
And I think about that a lot because I went to UNC, so watching Sam Howell's the best quarterback UNC's ever had, and that's no disrespect to my buddy TJ Yates, but Sam Howell, he had a really tough time between the hashes, and so he had a rough time with that. So you talk about holes in the game, I think about that. When we speak about holes in the game, and listen, we gotta get moving.
Hey, Michael, real quick, I want to give Clint his respect. He said something, probably not even thinking about it. You said black, white, or Hispanic, which I respect, because a lot of times in moments like that, when you're trying to get across a point where you got to traverse race, basically saying it doesn't matter, most people would say black, white, blue, green. Blue, green doesn't exist, and therefore they wash it out. You took the higher step up, and I respect you for that by saying black, white, Hispanic. Keep it within the realm. It's okay to talk about that. Just speak on it. But you did. I respect it. Just so the audience knows, I respect that, man.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Well,
yeah, taking that on like that. Go ahead, Michael. It's your show.
No, it's our show. But what I was going to say was, so if we're calling Alabama the favorite, how do we feel about Georgia? And you talk about holes in your game. Let's start with Stetson Bennett. Do we think he has holes in his game, or do we think they have holes in their offense?
Go ahead, Clint. I'll let you go first.
I don't know if he has holes in his game as much as his bowl ain't very deep. You know what I mean? He just ain't, like, his ceiling's so low. It's like, I mean, whether we're talking about, I know some folks, I ain't gonna say Georgia's name, but I know some folks want to talk about Stetson Bennett's legs last year. Like, Stetson Bennett's legs ain't doing a damn thing when it comes down to it. But I mean, look, he's got an extremely low ceiling. I mean, when we talk about Georgia, we're not talking about Stetson Bennett unless we're talking about the Good Morning America interview that he had after the national championship game, right, which was shit legends are made of. I absolutely loved it. Oh, it was so beautiful. But look,
Michael, did you see that? Michael, did you see?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Where two or three times he said, my man said, what was the question again?
But we enjoy. Hey guys, we're not talking about Stetson Bennett, man. I mean, and we look.
Here's the thing. The question with Georgia that we're asking is, how do you replace the talent that you lost on the defensive side of the ball? And then, by the way, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, but have you seen George Pickens in the Steelers camp? Because imagine if they had actually used him.
Yeah.
Or if he got himself out there. Remember, he was out for quite a while injury-wise.
He was hurt, but they also didn't throw him the ball.
That's also true. But then it goes back to the signal caller where I think we need to come on back to the Stetson Bennett thing. We need to have a real conversation.
You know what? We're gonna move forward. We're gonna circle back. So we do think that we all agree. Let's just do hands. Do we think that Georgia is number 2 in this conference?
Oh, yeah. Number 2 in the conference?
Number 2 in the conference. Okay, so let's move forward. We're going to move forward. We're going to get to some – so let's if Georgia's number 2, let's start in the West.
So wait. We need to touch on. We're going to circle back on this Stetson Bennett thing with Georgia later.
Oh, we're gonna circle back because we're gonna talk about the quarterbacks in this conference. So we're gonna circle back to Stetson Bennett. We're gonna talk about these quarterbacks, but I got to keep it moving, man. Listen,
Hey,
I got the
Clint, my man, keeping it tidy, ain't he? Keeping it
well,
thing.
Yeah, but Mike, we're talking about Georgia here. Mike, we're talking.
We gotta give Georgia. That's the national champ. We ain't got time for Georgia.
Look, Mike, let me hit you with this real quick, and then you tell me to go to hell, and we can move on. Here's the deal. When you ask me the question, and it's going to come back to Stetson. When you ask me the question, can Kirby Smart replace the 8 dudes that he lost on the defensive side of the football? And can he stay national championship contention, SEC championship contention, like a top 1 or 2 or maybe 3 programs in the country, right? Now,
the answer is no.
But look, check it out though, Mike. 5 of those draft picks that he lost, 5 of the 8 were first rounders. Guess what side of the ball they were on? All defense.
Yeah.
So here's the deal: is we first of all, we give Kirby too much damn respect. Like, Kirby's rebuilding, he ain't reloading, he ain't proved he can reload yet. He's rebuilding, right? And here's the thing: here's the difference: is not only do you have to replace 8, 5 of which were first rounders, 2 of which were third rounders on the defensive side of the football. But you got a stagnant ass offense with Stetson Bennett running the show. How are you going to overcome that and stay nationally relevant?
Well, you know what? Let's just stick on this damn Georgia point. We don't have to talk about them later. We can talk about them right now. Here's the reality. They lost the smartest college football player of the last decade.
Nakobe Dean.
Bingo, my man.
Dean. Yep.
Watching Nakobe Dean in the playoff, watching him call the orbit motion, orbit motion, say, keep the blitz on.
Go ahead, Michael.
Because he knew. Nakobe Dean watched so much film that he knew, orbit, you go, I'm staying. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sack Cade McNamara. Watching Nakobe Dean go from, Michigan was like, oh, we're smart, we're cute, we're funny. We're going to have a running back all the lined up at the numbers, and then we'll motion them across, and then Nakobe Dean gets a tackle for loss. Watching Nakobe Dean in the national championship game, was it Channing Tindall? When Channing Tindall got caught with his eyes in the backfield, and Nakobe Dean had to stop Cameron Letu from catching a touchdown pass that would have got them within 1 score. And then the next play, he told Channing Tindall, he said, do your job. And then Channing Tindall goes and gets a sack of Bryce Young, which leads to a field goal instead of them scoring a touchdown. Nakobe Dean I don't care if he was drafted in the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, doesn't matter. The reality of it is he was the smartest player in college football. He knew what he was doing. This is a team that watched film. And the only reason Alabama beat them in the SEC championship game is because Alabama knew they watched film. So Alabama did a bunch of different stuff to confuse them. That tight bunch where Jamison Williams scored the touchdown, Alabama for the whole year. And remember, you guys brought up the Auburn game, right? Where they ran that tight bunch to create plays. Alabama in tight bunch, the thing that they did in tight bunch, they had one guy go out, one guy go in, one guy go up. And then they sometimes had one guy go out and then go back in. And then in the SEC championship game, they had, and you can see, if anyone goes back and watches it, you can see Georgia's safety run over the top. You can see the other safety take the over route. And then you can see Jamison Williams look like he's about to run the vertical. And then he bends it in behind. And then they hit him right behind the safety. It's over. But Georgia watched film. They know what they're doing. So I don't know how you replace that level of intelligence.
Here's what I would put to that, Felder, and you're on point with everything. And that's when you said the smartest football player last year. I was already with you on the Kobe Dean. He was quarterbacking. By the way, we call Georgia the White Walkers. I don't know if you're hip to the Game of Thrones.
I know about it.
Killed in open space, the White Walkers. So my point on that is, Kobe Dean was in that linebacker room with some youngsters who were with him every day.
They learned.
They learn. They watch his patterns. And you best believe a leader like that, just like what Alabama has, what Clint was saying with Young,
Will Anderson,
and Will Anderson.
Yeah.
They're not just leading in a silo. They're taking everybody with them. Sit your ass down. This is how we do business. This is how we prepare. This is how we attack, et cetera, et cetera. Follow me. Everybody is doing that. And they got two guys like me. So best believe Nakobe Dean has left behind some apprentices that are going to also come up. And don't forget, the White Walkers, easily the best unit in college football we've probably seen in a handful of, since LSU's offense, is led by Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Kirby is still there.
Do you think losing Dan Lanning hurts?
Oh, no doubt. Anytime you have pillars and contributors to a great thing and you lose them, it hurts until the next crew comes in and defines themselves. And Clint's right.
Which I'm ready to talk. I can't wait to talk about Clemson because I'm very curious to see what that looks like.
Because Clint's right on this point. Georgia does have to reload. Alabama reloaded last year and wind up in the national championship.
Yeah.
They had a freshman quarterback, like 16 guys go to the draft, 3 more go as free agents. And then that was technically their reload year, and they wind up in the national championship.
Yeah.
That's coaching, that's tactical elements, that's pacing the team, playing within their limits. Playing within their realm. The first 6 weeks, and then week 7 through 12, you could expand some. Here comes the playoffs. Now we know who we are. So, but I will give you that. Georgia's going to be right there. And I don't think they're the second best team in the country, but they're certainly the second best team in this conference.
We've done almost half an hour.
That's gold. That's gold.
With just these two teams. But I have one more thing.
It's free.
Can you win with Ladd McConkey as your top receiver?
Well, I don't think he's their top receiver. I think the tight end is their top receiver.
Well,
he's going to wind up – we ain't talking enough about him.
Timeout. I love Brock Bowers. I think he's great. But you do know they have a receiver who is the same size as LeBron James, right? A tight end that's the same size as LeBron James.
Oh, yeah. He was there last year. And still Bowers is the best dude they got. All respect. I get the LeBron-sized dude. All respect. Respect. His family's probably watching. Thank y'all for watching.
And by the way, they also have Eric Gilbert now, who was a leading receiver for LSU, a leading pass catcher for LSU, if you will. And so I just if you have Darnell Washington and you have Eric Gilbert, does this look like Michigan's offense now? You're running 13. Running 13 personnel.
And I'll give it to Clint. I think you're gonna have some. They have some cheetahs and gazelles in there now. They do. We just haven't met them yet. We ain't met them yet.
Are we ever gonna meet them?
Oh yeah, we're gonna meet them. They will surface. We'll see them. They got interesting little first.
Clint, you're an SEC guy. Clint, you're an SEC guy. How much faith do you have that Georgia's going to open up their offense?
None. With Stetson Bennett at quarterback? None.
No, that's two different questions, Mike Felder.
But G, check it out. Here's the deal, man. Before we came on this damn show, we just got through talking about Nick Saban and why he changed his ways. Because he realized, hey, I can be as good as I want on defense. I'm gonna come up against some offenses that are gonna put some numbers up. I got to go run some numbers up on offense.
Bingo.
So what in the hell makes us think that Kirby Smart all of a sudden is going to be able to go 2 tight ends? I don't care how good they are. 2-3 tight end sets, running the football with Stetson Bennett. And now if you got, because I'm going to tell you, that Georgia defense, it rivals that Alabama defense back in the day with
they were historical.
Ashawn Robinson and that crew.
Josh Allen.
That's the best 2 defenses I've ever seen in my life. When I was about 4, I watched that Miami defense that was off the charts. You don't have that anymore. That offense works when you got them
Clint,
dogs that you had last year.
Let me ask you a question, Clint. Who's your favorite race car driver right now?
Race car driver. I don't know that I can give you one. You talking about NASCAR?
NASCAR, Indy.
Is Jeff Gordon still driving?
Probably not. Let's go Bubba Wallace.
Okay,
Let's
I
go
like Bubba.
Is Bubba Wallace still Bubba Wallace if he's driving the new electric Volkswagen?
No chance.
No chance. You are what your quarterback says you are. So you are what your quarterback says you are. So you're still technically Bubba Wallace. You could put the helmet on, the race suit on, but if you're getting into an electric Volkswagen, all respect to Volkswagen, and we would love that support here on Field of 12.
Yes.
But you can, like, you may in your heart be a NASCAR driver. You may hop in there with your NASCAR suit on. You may say, let's go get 50 every night. Let's touch 120 on the speedometer. But if you have a Volkswagen going on right now, that's what you have in the driveway. That's it. You have
G-Dub.
Whether you got weapons, some weapons, nuclear weapons, the trigger man defines what you are. Am I right?
Stop it. G-Dub, with your Vince Young and Johnny Manziel jersey having ass, I cannot. I'm here to tell you, man. Like, Stetson Bennett can drive a goddamn 82 Volkswagen if he wants to, if he's got that defense that he had last year. The game has changed, partner.
But you're saying Kirby Smart doesn't want to aspire to get past 24 points. And I'm saying
he doesn't.
What if he does? But what if he does, but you have Stetson Bennett as your quarterback? Ball control, management, customer service. Like that,
none of that's getting you 24 plus in this league when it matters, bro. None of that. Stetson Bennett, ball control ain't getting you there.
But I'm asking you, is that him or is that his quarterback?
That's him.
Is that him? What if Caleb Williams transferred to Georgia instead of USC?
Oh, you mean like if Justin Fields had been there?
Well, Ollie,
you are
what if
quarterback says you are?
Hell, if this was fist, we'd all be drunk.
Listen,
I gotta give me a drink. This one, but here, man.
Like, hang on. Let's not, like, we do remember that Justin Fields was at Georgia.
No doubt.
And he was like, don't know what to do with this. I can't drive this Corvette. Give me the Camry.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. Well, that's a good that's I had something for you, Michael, but I was like, that ain't gonna hold up in this. So I just put that back.
That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, we gotta go really quick because we got a Cedric Tillman interview coming up that we've got to play. And we have so let's talk really quick. In the West, who do we like in the West? Is A&M the team that's coming for it? You got 90 seconds to make your case, G-Dub. You got 90 seconds to make your case for A&M.
Well, I got to make a case for A&M, but I will. A&M. They've been building for this for the last couple of years. You saw this with Jimbo Fisher, one of the best big game coaches in the game today. A few years ago, they played both teams in the national championship, Clemson and Alabama, battle with both down the line. And they had Kellen Mond at the helm. Fast, physical, silverbacks everywhere, right? They've been building for this. Now, Clint's right. They got to situate this quarterback situation. And both are basically green. Haynes King had a chance to dress a few more times before he got hurt against Colorado. In comes Young Johnson. For those of you out there that are watching, Max Johnson's the son of Brad Johnson, great NFL quarterback. But so now here they go. But physically in the trenches, they can go anywhere in Jurassic Park and battle.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the SEC, anywhere. The only thing about this deal for Michael Felder, I mean, the only deal for them, they got Murderers Row first schedule. Miami, Arkansas, Miami in the non-conference, Hurricanes, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Bama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, LSU. What would you?
I didn't hear you say App State.
App State, throw App State in there. What would the Trojans do with that schedule? What would the Longhorns do with that schedule? Let's just get real.
Get their ass whooped.
The Aggies, to me, are coming. Will they catch the two big boys? We don't know. Attrition, injuries. We have to get momentum. People got to catch fire. But to me, that is the next one. They're dragging their chair to that two top. they're dragging their own chair to that 2-top. It's a 3-top with the Aggies.
All right, so I'm going to get Clint. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and we got to get to the interview.
Yeah, look, this is easy.
Give me Arkansas at number 2.
Arkansas at number 2?
Yeah,
in
the West.
Oh, they got a quarterback. They got their play caller back. They got an identity. They got their offensive line back. They lost two playmakers that I think are X factors in what they do offensively and defensively. And there's a good chance one of those, Drew Sanders, a transfer from Alabama. I don't know if he's going to be worth a damn, but he plays unbelievably fast. He may be better than Grant Morgan, and I'm going to get shot in Arkansas for saying that, but he may be better than Grant Morgan for 1 year. And then can Jaden Hazelwood, a former 5-star, can he replace Traylon Burks at the wide receiver position? That's the only 2 questions, partner. I mean, they've improved everywhere else. And if those guys hit, if those guys land, Arkansas can be number 2 in the West. No question about it.
I absolutely love that. I'm excited for it. And obviously, we're going to talk new coaches.
Wait, Michael Felder, you ain't just going to smooth on off of here with that. You love what Clint said about Arkansas in the SEC West.
Yeah,
Aggies
I love it.
Live there. LSU lives there. Ole Miss lives there.
Yeah.
You're smoothly stamping what Clint said. Arkansas 2 in the SEC West, which makes them a top 10 team when it's all said and done. Hell, top 8.
I absolutely think that Arkansas can be a top 15 team. I think Arkansas can be a top 15 team. I love the way that they play defense. I have to throw to an interview right now. I don't know if you guys know how a rundown works, but I have to throw to an interview. But yes, I am agreeing with that. Folks, we've got another field of 12, I don't know, co-host, affiliate, whatever you want to call him, Trevor Knight. You know him from Oklahoma. He actually got a chance to interview Cedric Tillman, wide receiver from Tennessee. So let's check that out.
And welcome back to the Field of 12 show. It is my honor and privilege to have with us here Tennessee wide receiver Cedric Tillman. Cedric, how are we doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Love it. Hey, let's dive right in. It's summertime. You've been around the block a few times, gone through summer workouts. You've been the young guy. You're now one of the older guys and one of the leaders of that football program. Talk to us about the summer there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Are you guys getting after it? Are you working out? Are you having a little fun on the side? Give us a little inside scoop.
Yeah, it's going good. We started workouts, I think, the first week of June. And, ever since then, we've been competing, running outside, getting stronger. So, it's been good, running routes, receivers, getting that chemistry with the quarterbacks. And, it's good to see the new upcoming guys that just came in, in the summer. So, yeah, it's been a good time, And as far as, off the field stuff, I myself, I know a couple of my teammates have done, appearances and done different camps and stuff like that. So it's just been overall a good summer.
That's great to hear, man. Speaking of that, appearances, right? I mean, some of that is probably normal. You're showing up to certain things, doing camps, that kind of stuff. But is any of that NIL related? And if so, how has NIL affected you personally and the locker room? This is a new concept to a lot of people. So just talk about NIL to our listeners, Cedric.
Yeah, so, a lot of the camps and, meet and greets have, kind of been through NIL. When NIL kind of came on us last year, I think during the summertime, but I feel like this offseason is the first time, people have seen just the effects of NIL, all it can offer. And, it offers just way more than just money, me going into it, I wasn't really thinking about that. I'm more thinking of, how I can, give back to the Tennessee community. Where can I go? Where can I meet people? Where can I sign, autographs? Where can I do camps at? So, that's kind of been my mentality. And I think it's been real good. The locker room, there's a lot of guys with NIL deals and, some upcoming guys with NIL deals too. So it's good. Anytime we get to put a little bit of extra change in our pocket, you can't complain. So it's going good.
There's no doubt. And obviously Tennessee, a school that is attracting a lot of NIL publicity. Let's talk a little bit about this past season and what you guys are trying to accomplish in the 2022 campaign. You're coming off a 7-6 year, 4-4 in conference. I know as you go into the latter part of your career there at Tennessee, you want to leave your mark. So what are you guys focused on this offseason leading into the 2022 season?
Man, we're just focused on winning. I mean, that's what we play the game, at the end of the day to do, winning. Obviously build those relationships, but, man, on Saturday nights and whatever nights we play, we got to get the job done. And, like we said, we went 7-6 last year. I feel like could have easily, had a 9-10 win year, in the first year with hype. So, this year just fixing those mistakes that we made, in the second quarter or the fourth quarter and trying to get better. But, yeah, the goal is to just win. Me personally, my 4 years here, it may sound crazy, but I've never beaten Florida, Georgia, or Bama, and if I'm being honest, all those games have been blowouts every year. So my goal is to just, beat the big three, all three of them, because it's something that I haven't been able to do so far. So, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a heck of a season right there, and I hope the best for you. So I've got the personal opportunity to play in Neyland Stadium. I believe that it's one of the greatest stadiums in college football. Outside of that, over your 4 years, what has been the greatest away atmosphere that you've gotten to experience?
Man, the greatest away atmosphere. If Purdue in the bowl game counts, that would have to be up there. But we were still kind of home. But part of Purdue is always crazy when you go to Florida, and that's always crazy when you go there. Bama, crazy too. So everybody's talking about LSU, Death Valley. So I'm curious to see how that game goes. I'm curious to see how the LSU fans are. Because everybody talks about it, but I want to see for myself. So yeah, I'm excited about that game in particular.
Folks, that was Cedric Tillman talking with Trevor Knight, and obviously you got to hear they're excited in Tennessee. Let's go to Clint first. What if not now, when Tennessee should be number 2 in the SEC East, right?
According to
me,
I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it one bit. That's the first time I've thought about it from this. Y'all keep hitting me with these second in the West, second in the East. It's the first time I've thought about it, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm not mad at it, man. Look, you got a play caller on the sideline and Josh Heupel. I don't care who's got the title, who's got the OC title. You got a play caller that's an absolute weapon on the sideline. Hendon Hooker is when you talk about dual threat quarterbacks in college football, he's as good as you get. Now, look, I'm not going to get off. We don't need to get off into stats, get off into weeds. But when it comes to catching the football and gun, and accurately distributing the football, keeping plays alive, and then also being able to not just be athletic, but like run the zone read, right? Run all the different quarterback +1 run games, the counters, the powers, things of that nature. Like this dude can do it. They got 15 returning starters. I just listened to Josh Heupel talk at SEC Media Days again. Mm-hmm. And I'm a believer, man. I'm gonna be honest. Josh Heupel doesn't look like he done 8 Josh Heupel that I watched play at OU. And so when Josh walked up, I was like, "Damn, Josh, what's going on?" And he started talking. And within 5 minutes, I'm like, "I'm ready to go to battle with you. Let's ride, baby." I believe Tennessee has a legit shot to make a run at the East, not beat Georgia, but make a run up the East and be a real contender sooner rather than later.
I'm not going to disagree with Clint. I can't.
This doesn't sound like you're agreeing.
In my opinion, first of all, how good is it that we're having real conversations about the SEC East?
Yeah.
I mean, how long has that been?
Well,
really, it's always been who's going to meet Bama. Come on, Georgia. Come on, Georgia. Way back, come on, Florida. Right. We're talking about programs that have been asleep for 10, 15 years. And it's a 3-horse race to me. In my humble opinion, it's Knoxville, and you're right about Heupel and Hooker. It's Gainesville with Coach Napier and Anthony Richardson, because that just needs hot wired. It's so much talent down there. They just need to hot wire that thing. And it's Kentucky, which Michael Felder, I trust you'll bring us back to the Wildcats. But that's a 3-program battle. When's the last time we honestly really had like who spent this much time on the SEC East?
So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. We got a quarterback in Clint. We got a quarterback guru in George. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna skip around in the rundown, and we're gonna bring the quarterback discussion to the forefront right now because we're talking about the SEC East. So let's talk about it. We got Hendon Hooker at Tennessee. We got Anthony Richardson at Florida. We got Will Levis at Kentucky. And then we got Spencer Rattler at South Carolina. So just those guys. And we've already talked about Levis. We've already talked about Haynes King. We've already talked about Bryce Young. So we don't have to worry about the West. Just the East.
Okay. Clint.
What are we looking at?
Clint, let me take the first swing. You mind?
No problem, baby. Go ahead.
Well, let's just go ahead and just be as real can be. Spencer Rattler is under the most pressure out of any college football player this season. And I'm talking about you can go up to Nova Scotia State. You can go all the way out there to Hawaii. It's Spencer Rattler is under the most pressure. You got unseeded at Oklahoma coming in as the nation's top prospect, 5-star, everything. You get to Oklahoma, you watch two Heisman's work in front of you. You just had to kind of watch and follow what they did. He tried to, whether his work ethic was there or not, whether the execution was there or not. We saw what happened on Saturdays. His own fan base pushed him on out for the next monster that came in. What does he make the choice to do? I'll go to Jurassic Park. He chooses to go to not Purdue. Well, he couldn't go to Purdue. Not like another good.
Not Indiana. He didn't go to Indiana.
Not in Indiana. I'm not gonna go find Arizona to go. That's actually his home. Arizona State.
By the way, why would anyone go to Arizona right now?
I'm gonna put my name, Clint, on a Jurassic Park program. Columbia, South Carolina, where they're starving. Let him go 2-2 getting out of the gate. Some nice performances, some shaky performances, see what happens. Easily under the most pressure out of any college football player in America. Clint, you got it.
No, I love where your head's at. And I think a big part of that is there's nobody nipping at his heels. So if he does start 2-2, he's going to be the dude. It's interesting, man, because I think the one thing that I experienced in my playing career that I don't think gets discussed enough, or there's not enough guys that did it in the national media right now, is it is a different animal when you quarterback Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina, right? It's easy to be Greg McElroy, bro. I mean, I love my dude. He's great at what he does. But Greg had it was not. It's easy to go down there and quarterback at LSU most of the time. I understand right now that doesn't fit real well.
Sure.
It's easy to go down there. It's easy to go down there to Georgia. It's easy to go to Florida. I lump Tennessee in that mix. I lump A&M in that mix. It's easy to quarterback when every game. What'd you say about A&M, George? They got them trenches taken care of. It's easy, relatively. Let me rephrase that. It's never easy. It is significantly less difficult to quarterback at one of those schools.
It's a downhill battle.
It's a lot harder to be, what is it, Andre Woodson? Is that his name? Kentucky quarterback?
Yeah, to be a light heavy.
Now I have to look it up because I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, Andre Woodson's right. Andre Woodson's right. I understand completely what
Andre Woodson. It's harder to be Andre Woodson, or it's harder to be Clint Stoerner. It's harder to be KJ Jefferson.
Yeah, it's just
to be Bryce Young, or to be
the support,
even to be Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, it's a different perspective, is all I'm saying. And Spencer Rattler went to Oklahoma, which he should have. He balled out in high school and he earned it. But he went to OU, where every time he took the field, he had the bigger boat. He had the biggest, baddest army in the military.
Yep.
And right now he might. And I'm not looking at their schedule. He might have the better roster in 30% of the games he's going to play next year.
You know what? I got the schedule right here, my man.
8th or 9th. They're 8th or 9th in the SEC.
You think that you think it got hot at OU when your ass wasn't playing well? Think about when it gets hot on your ass when you're not playing well and you're taking the field every day.
Let's run it. Let's run it right now. Let's run it. I'm going to run it right now. Okay. Georgia State, better roster. Arkansas.
I was going to run through the conference. Forget the schedule.
No, I'm going through the schedule because Clint mentioned the schedule. So let's run through the schedule. Let's look at the schedule. Georgia State, they have a better roster. Arkansas, I would say they have a comparable roster, but not better.
Not better.
Georgia, they don't have a better roster. The Charlotte 49ers, better roster. South Carolina State Bulldogs, better roster. I think this is an interesting one. Kentucky.
No. Better, no. Equal to at your best.
Equal at your best. Okay. A&M, they don't have a better roster. Missouri, better roster. Although
yes, I would say
yeah. Vanderbilt, better roster.
5.
So that's 5. And then Florida, Tennessee, and Clemson, and they don't have a better roster than any of them.
No.
So what is that? 5? So
that's 5.
40% of his games, he's going to take the field this year with a better chance to win than the opponent based on talent.
Right.
And then in the conference,
at OU, he ain't never. He didn't play one game when he didn't take the field with the best dude out there.
Yeah, but the killer part is they struggled with him in there at Oklahoma. They only beat Tulane by a touch. Like, they were 5-0 when he went into Texas, and all 5 wins were 8 points or less.
What were we talking about, though? Last year, after dark, Field of 12. By the way, you need to follow, like, tweet, holler at us, all that good stuff. Make sure you check us out. Field of 12, after dark. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, Mike.
No, we were talking about what, Clint?
No, I mean, we were talking when the whole Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler thing was going down. What were we questioning about? One, we were talking about Lincoln Riley needs to make his ass a decision. He's the one that got the 2 quarterbacks in the predicament in the first place. But 2, it was about, can Spencer Rattler, does he have the character or the leadership or the guts does he have all of that to handle that adversity of that whole program, all the fan base looking at? He didn't have it. Well, guess what, man? If you ain't got it when you're playing for Oklahoma, the big dog in the Big 12, it's going to be hard as hell to have it at South Carolina, one of the basement teams of the East historically. I mean, it's just the reality of it.
And the thing for me is, and George, you and I talked about this pre-show. I like Spencer Rattler a lot. I think he is good. I think he's got a lot of ability. I don't think Lincoln Riley was I don't think he was serving us BS when he said that he's one of the best throwers of the football that he's ever had. I think the issue I think Oklahoma's issue, honestly, they had more of I think his issues or misfortune was more of a symptom than the disease. They weren't bad because of him. They were, and they weren't even bad. They just weren't as good as we wanted them to be or thought they could be. And I think that's an offensive line situation. I also think
Michael, that's still an indictment. That is still an indictment.
On who?
And it's just on Spencer Rattler. Are you a difference maker or not? And so you can indict people you like. You can indict people you like.
But that goes, you know what? We're going to pause this for when we talk about the ACC, because I want to get into this more when we talk about DJ Uiagalelei.
Oh, another guy that should be in this conversation, but he's not.
Yeah,
he's not been a difference maker. He's not even at Spencer's level. But to wrap this up on Spencer,
yeah,
you chose to go to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, life finds a way.
You finagled your way to Georgia. Then it would have been a better whatever. But you go to South Carolina. South Carolina, they're hungry. Their tailgates ain't celebratory. Their tailgates are anxious at South Carolina. There's some anxious tailgates over there.
Listen, you keep saying
90,000 people gonna come in that stadium. They high-fiving each other. They going like this. You must deliver.
Life finds a way.
In there, you must deliver. And for you to come in, a name they know.
Yeah.
And when that news hit, you best believe them little local papers, and they said, oh, Spencer Rattler's now a Gamecock. You know, Michael, they ran to and fro, neighbor's house to neighbor's house,
Excited.
water cooler.
So you got to deliver. You have to deliver.
Deliver.
You got to deliver.
Best deliver.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about another guy. Because we're doing quarterbacks, and we only got a little bit left in the show.
Because we got extra innings. Remember that now. We got some extra innings.
I know we got some extra innings, but I'm trying to get some stuff in. Because I want to get you guys' thoughts on Anthony Richardson. I'm going to start with you, Clint, on this one.
Look, I think he's the most gifted quarterback in the country.
Do you think he's a good quarterback?
Well, I think it's the jury's still out on that one. I mean, okay. I think you got to be a lot more than just gifted. I mean, we're talking about Spencer Rattler. Lincoln Riley said he's the best thrower of the football he's ever seen. Yeah. And I'm not going to. Who am I to disagree with Lincoln Riley? I'm not going to tell you that. Right. But I'm going to tell you. It wasn't enough to answer the bell. It wasn't enough to keep your job. It wasn't enough to win ball games at Oklahoma when you had all the advantages in the world. So when I look at Anthony Richardson, me and George have been talking about this for 2 years now. I told him last year, like, why are they starting Emory Jones? Like, Anthony Richardson clearly gives you the best chance to win ball games, no question about it. When I watch him, absolutely. Now, maybe not the first game of 2021, but by the time he got 7 or 8 games under his belt, he was going to be by far and away the better quarterback at Florida. I mean, at least unless he just shit the bed and was not and wasn't. And had nothing but raw talent. Now that may have been the case, but I look at Anthony Richardson, man, and I think when I talk about a loose arm that can make all the throws, with his body engaged and disengaged to throw the ball, with change arm slots, all that quarterback guru stuff George and I always talk about, and then the ability to run the football. And I'm gonna tell you, those things with Anthony Richardson, they stand out when Georgia's on the other side of the ball. They stand out when Alabama's on the other side of the football. When elite athletes are on the other side of the football, he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger, he throws the ball effortlessly across the entire field from the line of scrimmage to the damn goal line. He is an absolute animal physically. Can he put it together and become a really good quarterback? We'll see.
You know how many passes he threw last year?
Don't know. You can tell me.
94. 94 throws.
You got to cut your teeth somehow. That was a struggling season. I mean,
I know he got hurt. I know he got hurt. I know that he got hurt.
But they also gave up 40 plus to Samford, not Palo Alto, Stanford, Samford in the first half in the swamp. That's how bad that team was. They did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was right before.
You're checking your paperwork now. Check your paperwork.
That was right before Thanksgiving. I completely forgot about that.
They got rocked. That's how bad the team was. Now I'm just simply saying, I'm a co-sign everything Clint put on there. Most talented in the country. I'm just talking, just like walking around with just tanks of nuclear everything. It's Anthony Richardson. At least up until the Mississippi River.
What's it going to take?
It doesn't validate him as a great. Is he going to be this? Is he going to be that? We got to let him get out there. We got to give him a season leading from the front, just like Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams came out of the bullpen too.
We talked about that, and I agree.
We got to. Now he gonna get a chance to have the ball, start seeing the first batter, second, third batter. That bullpen deal is a different deal. You come in the middle of the season. What's it like to start? But they got Anthony Richardson, 6'4" plus, 230, 240 plus. And for those of you who haven't seen him, go look at his YouTube.
He's a beast.
Highlights.
He's huge.
Look at his YouTube highlights.
I was talking to a couple of friends that were at SEC Media Days, and they were like, oh, he's a large man.
Oh, yeah, but he's also talented. So now what Billy Napier will do is sit down, evaluate. He had all spring and he's got all summer to craft this thing around Richardson. And Clint's right. they were playing games last year with Emery or Anthony or Emery or Anthony. Or, you know what, Anthony, come on in here. We'll give you a couple little reps. Nah, they're going to craft this whole aircraft around
him. Okay.
A big difference now. That's a big difference.
I dig that. I think you guys are convincing me. I just think I want to see it. My family's from Missouri. Like, just the show me state.
No doubt.
I want to see it.
A quick note, Clint, I'd like to get your thoughts. You too, Michael. Hooker, to me, has been out here dealing.
Good job.
There's so many rock stars in Jurassic Park. This dude's been out here dealing. It's going to show. I mean, again, last year they caught a lot of people by surprise. And to me, Will Levis is like super-powered Garoppolo. Like if Garoppolo took training to the nth degree and only ate broccoli and smoothies and mayonnaise in his coffee, and he had a howitzer, that to me, that's like Will Levis. I'm not going to let us go backwards. So for Kentucky, to me, he brought the floor up. Fellas, we ain't going to be in 3rd and 18. We ain't going to be down 21 in no game. We ain't never going to have a bad practice. I got us. Everybody else do what you do, and then I got you. To me, that's Will Levis. I like both those two quarterbacks, and I'm curious, Clint, what you think about him, what you both think about him, because Tennessee and Kentucky all of a sudden are in real conversations to get in that top 12, top 15 legitimately.
Yeah, look, I think in the SEC, the most pro-ready quarterback not at Alabama is Will Levis. I mean, I think he's a guy that I'm not going to say he's going to take him by storm. I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say he's a first rounder. I think that to have him in that conversation, I think that's probably a little bit of a stretch based off of what I've seen. But I do think that he's a guy that's pro-ready that would go in there but with the right team could end up playing a long time at the NFL level. He's an accurate distributor of the football. He understands footwork. He understands throwing it on time and all those things. He understands the running games first. He understands, hell, if you're going to play for Mark Stoops, your ass is going to understand. Don't turn the football over. Ball control, make good decisions. And that typically plays well at the next level. I think when it comes to the draft and as they evaluate guys, I don't think his ceiling's high enough to put him in that conversation with some of those monsters, in my opinion. When Hendon Hooker is an interesting one to me. I'm going to be completely transparent. I'm going to lean on you guys. I haven't seen him a ton, which I don't know if anybody has at Tennessee because he just got there, played last year. But I love the legit. Like I ain't talking about somebody running around like a chicken with their head cut off. I'm talking about legit dual threat. I love, like, he knows what the hell he's doing. Like he's setting things up with his feet to come back and then either hit them the other direction or throw it over their head or throw it outside or throw the slant behind them. He gets it. Like he gets it. And Josh Heupel's an X factor. I don't know enough about him personally, but what I've seen, I really like.
Go ahead, George.
Outside of Bill O'Brien and Bryce Young, that's the best quarterback coordinator combo to me in the SEC. Because some programs have great coordinators and they got a quarterback coming on, or some have some great quarterbacks and they got a coordinator that they just met, like down in Florida.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker plays fast, makes fast decisions. He's decisive. And Clint, you know how big a deal that is. Michael, you've been playing against quarterbacks on the opposite side. You love a quarterback that goes 1 to 2 to 3. Which one did I want? You love that. No, the ball never stays back there. It's gone, or he's gone. And he puts pressure. It's almost like him and Heupel when they come down the tunnel. It's like their mindset is apply pressure.
Yeah.
By hook or crook, apply pressure.
I saw Hooker in high school, and I really liked him. And when he transferred to Tennessee, I still liked him. And then when he got on the field, I didn't know if he was going to beat out Joe Milton, but he did, and I loved it. And so,
a big win, by the way.
Yeah, he makes plays. So here's what we got.
Mike, can I check George real quick?
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Bill O'Brien is running Nick Saban's offense. How in the hell is Bill O'Brien and Bryce Young the best quarterback coach tandem in the SEC?
Well, because they wound up in the national championship.
Well, damn, George, you can get that OC gig.
And would take it. And would take it.
and take that half a million.
And would take it.
No, I'm gonna hit you with this. Let me hit you with this. Oh, I try to segue myself into this right here. My boy Kendall Browse and KJ Jefferson got to be in that conversation.
Love them.
Hey, that fit right there, man, with what Kendall does and what KJ can do.
But here's
that's a match made in heaven now.
No.
Michael Felder. Allow me to make this quick. Michael Felder, allow me to make this quick retort. This quick.
Oh my goodness.
Get your what? Bryce Young and Bill O'Brien have been battle tested. They've been battle tested.
Sure.
Look how that they didn't blow through the SEC last year. They had some dog fights down the back stretch.
They had to work.
They got in there against Cincinnati. That was a dog fight first half. Then you saw what happened with Georgia. They are battle tested. Whoever's book you're running, you still got to call, feel, execute, and then Bryce has to play out. And then what I like about what I like about Heupel and Hooker, they got hot. You would think at any point
they were smoking.
It would be extinguished week 4, week 5, week 6. Somebody gonna mess around and change the rotation, change coverage, change something. They couldn't. They had answers. So I like what KJ and I like what Bryles is doing, Michael Felder. But the other two, one being battle tested and one just kept going. They never flamed out. Those two units, Bama and Tennessee, coordinator and quarterback, to me, they lead this conference.
We haven't talked about Leach and Rodgers.
Well, I mean, where were we going to talk about it?
No, that was a joke that I made.
No, I got you.
We have very little time left. So I'm going to give you one transfer you're looking forward to. George, starting with you. Clint, then you go next. And then we're going to get to you guys ranking this conference.
Go ahead, Clint.
Gosh dang it, man. Why you give me this question at the end, Mike?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
No. Hell, I got it, big dog. I really like Gibbs at Bama. I really like under the radar Evans at Ole Miss, for the record. However, the biggest question in all of college football, in my opinion, right now, the biggest decision that has to be made in college football right now is the quarterback at Texas A&M. And I believe, personally, Max Johnson at A&M is a no-brainer for Jimbo Fisher.
Wow.
I'm going with Max Johnson.
Wow is right.
Wow. Well, y'all gonna sit around and let Jimbo Fisher, when it goes 9-3 or 8-4 and finishes in the middle of the West? Oh, well, I had a young quarterback again. Or
that's his go-to.
Oh yeah, that's all. That ain't just his go-to.
He had too many go-tos now. He got a ring in there. He got another chance.
He got another what?
Look here.
Another what?
He been in some conference battles in there now.
You said he got a ring in there and he got another what?
Jameis Winston won a title. Here's
some more contentions.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Yeah, I know in College Station, George, he won with Kellen Mond.
Yep.
Who I think Kevin Sumlin. That's a Kevin Sumlin recruit. Big shout out to Kevin Sumlin, by the way, joining the Field of 12 crew this year. So big shout out to Kevin Sumlin. Yeah, come on. But yeah, man, the reality is, man, is at some point we got to quit. I mean, you can't in one hand blame everything on Zach Calzada, and on the other hand say, yeah, but we beat Alabama. Well, hell, Zach Calzada beat Alabama. Like, you can't talk out of both sides of your damn mouth.
No, true, but you're Jimbo Fisher. You got a second-year quarterback coming back off a broken leg last year who only played one game. And then you have a transfer. What's your expectations for the quarterback room? You don't get time to develop these guys. You don't get time to get them in there so they can cut their teeth. They got to make their mistakes. First, they got to solve who's going to be the one to lead them. And you're right. That is a lot of pressure. That room will have a lot to say about the national picture.
Jimbo been there 5 years in his quarterback room. He's supposed to be a quarterback guru. His quarterback room is in a position where Max Johnson from a sub 500 LSU team can transfer and be considered in the starting competition.
Well, yeah,
that's a good pickup, though. That's a good pickup.
Oh, I love it. I mean,
here's all. Listen, I know this is the SEC preview show, but let's not forget that Jim Harbaugh is supposed to be some sort of a quarterback guru too, and he ain't done nothing but have transfers.
Well.
Easy.
I'm just saying.
Hey. But first of all, you got to get him. His very first year at Michigan, he got the transfer from Iowa. They won, 9 games?
Oh, yeah. No, I understand that explanation.
But first, you got to get him. Second, he played 2 quarterbacks last year, and they both stayed in the era of portal.
And now we're looking at Cade Mack. We're looking at Cade Mack. We'll talk about this on the Big Ten show, but Cade McNamara is about to be the starter again when J.J. McCarthy is the guy.
So. I think it goes the other way, personally.
I hope it goes the other way.
But what you have.
But they also, by the way, if you look up their depth chart, Andrew Anthony is their best wide receiver. He's still sitting on the bench. He's a backup. That's insane.
Yeah, but you have a Super Bowl coach back there who sees it. He feels these guys. He got a vibe. Team got a vibe. They know what it is. He got 2 quarterbacks and he kept them both. How many coaches have done that?
That doesn't happen very often. You're 100% correct.
Back here to A&M, they got murderers row.
So
everybody in the damn SEC West got murderers row.
Hang on.
No.
I mean, you done named one. Now you're naming A&M. Arkansas got the toughest damn schedule in the world. I mean, what else you got? That's 3 of the 7.
BYU has the hardest schedule in college football, for the record.
Who says that?
I'm saying BYU has the hardest schedule in college football.
Okay, we're splitting hairs. Arkansas is right there with them.
Yeah, you know who BYU plays?
What hair are we cutting?
Arkansas.
I hadn't checked BYU's schedule, but I know Arkansas's got Cincinnati, BYU, and an SEC West schedule.
Yeah,
I mean
Cincinnati and BYU is murderers row.
BYU's got Oregon. They got Oregon. They got Arkansas. They got Boise State.
Oh, no.
They got Notre Dame.
Okay.
Their schedule is hard. They have a hard schedule.
But I noticed that was it, though. You fired off them first 3 or 4.
That's because I don't remember
Nevada,
the rest. No.
You know what? New Mexico State's in there.
No, there's not. Okay.
Well, context matters. I'm not saying BYU doesn't have a more difficult schedule than some folks do.
For BYU,
but I'm saying
that's a hell of a
timeout. Okay, here it is. Time out. Here we go. USF, not bad. But they play Baylor. Baylor picked to win the Big 12. Oregon picked to win the Pac-12. They play Wyoming, no big deal. Utah State picked to finish second in the Mountain Division behind Boise State. They play Notre Dame. They play Arkansas. They play Liberty. They play ECU. They play Boise State. And then they get a little respite at the back end with Utah Tech and Stanford. And by the way, what happened?
There's some nice little scraps in there.
What happened to Stanford?
Well, I mean, they're doing their academic thing. Some years it's going to play out on the field.
It's been some very long years since they were good.
It's been some very long years. I miss Stanford being up there.
All right, let's go. Come on, guys. No,
everything is relative.
Here we go. We got to do the rankings. We're going to go back to back. Here's what we're going. You guys want to start at the bottom, or you want to start at the top?
What are we doing? What are we talking about? The SEC rankings?
The SEC rankings.
We'll go bottom.
Let's go bottom.
Intriguing.
Are we going to do, okay, hang on. Dagan, are we going to go west? We're just going to do 1 through 14. Who do you think is, okay, let's do this. And I'm writing it down right here, right now. Here we go. Because I want to make sure I can read it back.
We'll let Clint go first.
I got Clint and I got G-Dub. And, okay, so let's go. Who do you think is going to be the worst team in the SEC? Vanderbilt? We all have Vanderbilt.
Vandy. Yes.
Vandy. Okay.
I got Vandy finishing 6th, by the way.
No, wait, what? You're lying.
6th what?
I'm absolutely lying.
He must got an uncle. He got an uncle coaching at Nashville. What he got.
I'm just trying to give Nashville a little something to boot and scoot about. Sorry, Nashville. Y'all dead
13. Who
last.
do we got?
Missouri.
Missouri.
We both have. You guys both have Mizzou. Okay.
This is where it gets hairy for me.
All right, here we go. 12. I'm ready.
Not for me.
Let's go.
South Carolina.
All right.
I'll ride South Carolina there.
Okay. 11.
I got Auburn.
Ooh, wow.
I think the Heat going to turn up on Harsin. I think the team going to do fine. I think the staff going to battle. I think Harsin is going to blow up and bristle.
It's going to be spicy.
I'm changing mine, Mike. I'm going LSU
At 11?
At 11 and South Carolina at 10.
Oh,
is that where we're at?
No, we're at. So you want to? Okay, I'm swapping them. You got LSU at 12 and South Carolina at 11.
I got Vandy, Missouri, LSU, South Carolina is where I'm at.
We haven't even talked about LSU at all.
And I got thoughts.
LSU
at 12, which means that's a losing record.
Yeah.
Hey, love him or hate him, think he's Newt Rockne or think he's corny. That's a ball coach in Brian Kelly.
Yeah,
that's a ball coach. Maybe
we'll see.
He can dance, the Southern accent, whatever. When he gets in there, Notre Dame has been in the top of these rankings, in the top half of the top 25 for how many years? Then he tweaked their recruiting. More Southern kids have been coming to the Northern Indiana on his behalf. He has tweaked that as a modified SEC program, just like Ohio State did. We're going to be the Northern SEC program, and they have been winning. Watch out now with that LSU.
You're not going to talk me out of it, George. I see the silly ass dancing. I heard the silly ass accent. I heard the corny ass greeting to the media the other day. I don't think that shit. I don't think that shit plays in Baton Rouge near as well as people think it's going to play. Not from jump.
Well,
it doesn't play, but the ball coaching plays.
Well, let me ask. Hang on, because George, you and I talked about this pre-show. Clint, where are you from?
Right here, Baytown, right outside of Houston.
Right outside of Houston, right? So that's a pipeline straight into Louisiana, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they won't listen to Ed Orgeron, why will they listen to Brian Kelly? The kids on that team.
I'm with you. I think I agree with your point. I mean, bro, like Brian Kelly went into LSU, and I can't remember the kid's name. I was listening to one of the spaces from LSU the other day. There's a 5-star cornerback that was committed, I believe, out of North Shore, Texas, but he was originally from Baton Rouge. His dad was his dad balled at LSU. I can't remember. I should know his name. You would know it if I could remember. And Jimbo Fisher went in there and flipped that dude from LSU. And I mean, I'm just telling you, man, like, dude, his roots, his folks, his people,
they're from there.
Are in Baton Rouge. He's playing in a powerhouse in Houston where LSU's known to come over here and take folks.
But that's not the question. The question ain't recruiting. He said, why would kids who didn't listen to Orgeron listen to Brian Kelly? Brian Kelly's a different animal than Orgeron. I know them both. I love them both. Orgeron is your granddad-ish. Brian Kelly, that ain't the substitute teacher. That's the principal. He gonna come in here and grab these dudes by the throat as a team. We're going this direction. I have a spot for you. Come join, or that's the door. Like, and there's a handful of coaches that have that. They either show teeth or they got their arms out. Your guy in Clemson got his arms out.
Dabo,
like Ryan Day got his arms out. Some of these coaches, they show teeth. You're going to hop in there and do what you're supposed to do. You didn't come to LSU to not win. They brought a dude down from Notre Dame with a track record, half the talent of LSU in its history. Half the 5 stars, half the All-Americans, half the draft picks. They've been, I bet you, if you go the last 10 years, Notre Dame has won equal to or more games than LSU.
They've won more games even with them going undefeated through the season. Yeah, they won.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Games. So Brian Kelly, he's bona fide. And his message ain't going to be, please go with me. It's, we're going this way. rock or roll.
But
How many years you giving him? How many years you giving him?
Oh, hell, he going to be down there. A great pickup for LSU. He going to be down there until he gets tired.
I'm talking about how many years you giving him before he's winning ball games and competing down there?
2. They're going to have to cut their teeth. They're certainly not 12th in the SEC, though. Oh, my God. This ain't even a sober comment. I've been rolling with you all day now. Well,
We'll see.
day. This ain't even a sober comment. 12th
You ain't talking
SEC.
me out of it.
Oh, my.
You ain't talking me out of it.
okay,
I know
so
here's Mike, here's what I know. George would have got his ass on that silly ass little rotating stage that Brian Kelly was dancing on, and would have did a little dance with him with them neon lights, George. Your ass would have been dancing. Yeah,
no. I'd have been over there by the door like this.
Okay, timeout. I gotta run traffic.
And then I would have said, I wouldn't have done it, but I understand. Get them wins. That's it.
Go. We got it.
12. Go ahead, Mike.
We're at 10.
In the 12.
George,
LSU
10.
12 is not sober. That's not even a sober.
It was
state. 10. I
10.
got Mississippi State.
Miss State. Okay.
I'll
Clint,
go
10.
Auburn there. I'll go Auburn.
Okay. 9. George.
I got Florida.
Okay. Listen. Thank you, because I've had a million Florida fans bother me and we don't have time to get to the games. We're not going to have time to get to that, but I'm going to tell you, I think Utah's going to stomp a mud hole in Florida.
I think they beat Utah, but struggle with the rest of the SEC.
Wow.
Yeah.
9. 9, Clint.
Who 9? I'll go Florida with George there.
Okay, 8.
I
got LSU.
LSU at 8. What do you got at 8? Kentucky?
No. I'll go Mississippi State.
Ooh, wow. That is bold. 7?
I got them Hogs at 7.
I like that. Okay. What do we got at 7? Clint?
I'll go Kentucky at 7.
Oh, UK. Here we go. Will Levis. What about 6 for you, George?
I got the Fighting Lane Kiffins at number 6.
Ole Miss. There we go. 6 for you.
I'm going Tennessee at 6.
Tennessee is 6. I think they're going to be a breakout team this year, to be quite honest.
At
5?
They're going to break out. I got Tennessee at 5.
Tennessee at 5. See, 5 is good. I like that. What do we got at 5 for you, Clint?
I got Ole Miss at 5.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Jackson.
You got family down there? You got family in Oxford?
No, but it's the only team I got left on my list. No, I'm banking on Lane Kiffin, and that sucker winning 11 games last year. I think he'll be all right.
With Matt Corral, we don't know who we got right now.
Who we got at 4? What do we got 4?
To me, I have the newest football school in Kentucky, and the Fighting Mark Stoops.
UK at 4. I love Mark Stoops. I think he's a fantastic coach. What do we got at 4 for you, Clint?
I'll go A&M.
A&M. That's a good one. I like that.
Interesting.
3 for you.
I hope we recording that.
At 3.
To me, it's going to be the Aggies.
So you have 3. You're one pick off. That's not a big deal. Yeah, he has them at 4. You have them at 3.
Yeah, but still, when it come down to really, you know what I'm saying? His assessment still 1 degree off. 1 degree, that's the difference in a lot of things in life.
Okay, that's a good point.
I'll go Arkansas 3, and then the top 2.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I fucking love it. Georgia at 2, Bama at 1 for both of you guys. That's the
Hogs up at 3.
Guys, that's the show.
Aggressive.
Folks.
Aggressive.
Yo, that's the show.
I hope that plays into a nice golf membership. I hope somebody watching was like, you know what?
You want to jump on that Trevor Knight Arkansas A&M gamble? I'll give you the bet straight up. I don't even care what the line is. In Dallas, neutral site. I got Arkansas. You got A&M. All that shit you talking. You gonna put it? I want one of them $100 the ESPN money you're making, Elite 11 money you making. Give me one of them Herners. Bam, bam, bam. Come on, Hog. What do you say?
There we go, folks. You heard it here first. Let's do it. Cheers. Yo, that's the show. Guys, this has been Field of 12 After Dark. And hang on, let me make sure I just got a note here. Oh,
he's telling you we got extra innings. That's what the note said. He's telling you we got extra innings.
No, we already went into extra. We already went into extra innings. This is in extra innings. It's 11. It's 11:25, my man.
Yeah, this is prime time. What they watching? CSI right now? Their third sports center? No, they watching this. People watching.
No, we got extra. We did extra innings because we went long. So just make sure you subscribe and give us a thumbs up there on the YouTube page. And once we pop on to Sirius, make sure you tune into that as well. Clint, George, cheers, boys.
Hey, and welcome again. Your first. It certainly ain't gonna be your last, but great run.
Oh, you're done.
Great job setting us up. Great job, Michael Felder.
I'm here to run point, baby.
And Clint.
Been one of these kind of nights, Mike.
I know you did it. Listen, you put in. Hey, you know what? Let me empty mine for you too.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and empty them out.
Bubble that joint, baby.
We're done, baby. We're done. This show.
And your insight followed what the bottles look like. They ran empty. Clint.
Wow.
Third with Arkansas. Wow.
I'm gonna
not a drip out that bottle coming out.
I'm gonna tell you this. George got A&M going number 3 for all the same reasons that they had them ranked high last year. Same shit, different day. Same shit.
Tomorrow, come back to the same channel. They'll be talking about the Big Ten. Big Ten's going. Before we wrap up, what do you think about the Big Ten? Obviously Ohio State, but then behind them, what are you thinking about?
I don't know if it's a behind thing. I think you're back to two monsters. You're back to two predators on the jungle floor. Michigan. You're back to Michigan again. Now let's look. You open the door. You got to come on in now. You can't just open the door and stand at that port. Come on in here, Michael Felder. Michigan is fresh off a Final Four from last year. Bona fide. The feeling in the building is something.
Washington went to the Final Four before too, and guess what? They didn't
nothing to do with nothing. But I don't know that book. I know this book, and I know this.
I'm sick of reading it.
This team's got both quarterbacks returning. They got a lot on defense. Their stars took off and went to the NFL.
Right.
But the vibe on the ground from those who I get a chance to speak with, oh no. Everything is validated and verified.
With no Gaddis.
Say what?
With no Gaddis?
With no Gaddis. In fact, they have a two coordinator
system.
Here's
the thing. They remind me of Lott. And this is the first time that listen, Clint, you've used profanity multiple times during the show. George?
Me?
Yeah, you. I'm going to say right now, when Michigan State went to the playoff, they also walked around with a big swinging dick the next year.
Did they?
Yes.
Nah.
No, don't tell me. No.
They got beat down by Alabama, and
Georgia got beat down. Excuse me, Michigan got beat down by Georgia, did they not?
The eventual national champions, the best unit
in Alabama was the eventual national champions, were they not?
No, they were. But I'm just simply saying.
All I'm saying, here's the thing.
They lost to the White Walkers.
I'm gonna give you an insight. My wife, you saw her in the background a little bit. Her cousin was a starting left tackle for them.
Who?
Cole Chewins.
For Michigan or for Bama?
For Michigan State. When they lost to Alabama.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, we'll be back here next year. And then it was like, oh, no, we're not.
That just wasn't sober thinking on her cousin's part. Quarterback gone, running back gone, all them guys gone. It just wasn't. And I get the parallel you're straining to make.
I'm not straining. This isn't a hard parallel. This is the reality.
On paper it fits. I'm saying Michigan, great recruiting class. And now all that work, effort, and grind that they do with Ohio State in terms of thinking about that team in Ohio, they're only thinking Final Four. That's it.
Sure. They can think about it all they want. They're not – here's the thing. They can think about it all they want. For George Whitfield, for Clint Stoerner, I'm Michael Felder. You guys, you take it easy.